This is Heather Nichols, and I'm going to show you how to take shrink plastic and we're going to coat it with ultra thick embossing enamel and add a few beads for a super shiny and unique embellishment. So I've die cut with the Christmas tree die out of the shrink plastic. This is the matte shrink plastic, and I colored it with a Copic marker. This is the YG93, just so I can have green Christmas trees. And then instead of shrinking my plastic in the oven, I'm using a heat tool. And the little bamboo skewer there is just something to so they can hold my piece so it doesn't blow away on me. And now you're looking at that, I'm sure you're like, oh my gosh, it's crumpling up into a ball. And with shrink plastic, that's completely normal. It will shrink up into a crumpled ball, and then as it gets to its final size, it will flatten itself out again. As you can see, that's what it's doing. If you've ever watched Shrinky Dinks or something like that in the oven, they'll do the same thing. They'll curl up and then they'll flatten themselves back out again. So just heat until it flattens out, and the plastic is pretty pliable while it's warm, so you can help that along and flatten it out as you go. You can use like your bamboo skewer or your fingers. Just remember that it's hot because you are using heat tool on it. There's my first tree, and we're going to go ahead and I'm going to shrink the second tree. So there it goes, crumpling up into a ball, completely normal. That's what it's supposed to do. And then I'll flatten that one out as well. Now, when these are done, I'm going to coat them with ultra thick embossing enamel, and you'll see that referred to as UTEE a lot. So I put the tree in Versamark ink, and then I dipped it into the UTEE, and I'm melting it with my heat tool, and I'm going to do 2 layers of the UTEE for a nice thick glossy coat. If you've done the cracked glass technique, you will remember that these are the steps that you use to do that. Except we're not going to crack this one, we're just going to let it be flat and shiny. Then I'm going to do the same thing to the second tree. 2 layers of ultra thick embossing enamel on the top of the tree. And then because we have this really thick enamel on the top, the other cool thing you can do is you can actually embed things into it, like I'm going to use beads here. So make sure that the enamel is warm. Sorry about my hand being right in front, but I'm heating the embossing enamel and then I'm dropping beads onto the surface and then reheating so that the beads just get caught in the enamel. You can do this with glitter, you can do this with other little pieces, like little watch parts are really cool to do. And the result is a very unique and fun embellishment for your projects. You can't buy these anywhere because you create them yourself. Let's put the cards together. This sentiment is from the Over Under Easy Holiday Editions. It's a mini set, and I'm stamped it on craft cardstock, and I'm edging the edges with white Fresh Snow ink. And I just run my fingers over the ink right after I brush it on. It just kind of takes off the excess ink and helps it dry a little bit quicker. I did the same on the card base. If you'll notice, the bottom part of the card base is impressed with the wood grain impression plate. Then I'm going to attach the tree embellishments with a liquid adhesive. I'm using zip dry paper glue, but you can use a liquid adhesive of your choice, or glue dots would probably work just as well here too. When you have kind of a complex little embellishment like this, it's a nice idea to keep your card design simple, because then it just makes your embellishment pop. You can see on the back here I stamped my sentiment crooked, so I just turned it over and stamped again, and I'm sure you all do that just like me. I'm attaching the craft piece to the card front with some foam squares. And that finishes off my card. So there you have it. creating shrink plastic embellishments, and they're coated with ultra thick embossing enamel with beads to create your own unique embellishments. And I can't wait to see what you come up with. I hope everybody is having a great Stamp-a-Faire day. This is Heather Nichols, and I'll see you again soon.